And now, here's Vegas Vic.
Hello and welcome to our show. We are about to introduce you to the great game of Texas Hold'em. This program is intended to cover the very basics for players who have never played Texas Hold'em. So, if you already know how to play, we have more shows in this series on advanced strategies and concepts. But for those of you who are new to the great game of Texas Hold'em, this is the perfect place to be. And now, let's go to the table. The first thing you notice when you walk into a card room or click on a poker game on the internet is the poker table itself. This is a typical poker table, which for the game of Texas Hold'em usually has 10 player positions. In our game, we have 9 player positions, 4 of which are currently occupied by our players, Pam, Sean, Curtis, and JR. Each table in a major casino, poker room, or card room will be equipped with the dealer, who will be seated directly opposite all of the player positions. Here our dealer is Eric, and he will soon be ready to deal. In front of the dealer are the cards. Before the beginning of a new game, these cards are usually flared out in front of the dealer, just like you see here. When there are enough players to start a game, the dealer begins a new deal in a procedure which is called Scramble. After this, the dealer then shuffles the cards in a procedure known as Shuffle, Shuffle, Box, Shuffle, and Cut. At the beginning of a brand new game, the dealer will first deal out one card to each player position in order to determine the button. In this case, our player JR was designated as the button, which means that he will be in the principal and prime position for this hand. In any discussion about Texas Hold'em, you will often hear about the importance of position. Being on the button is the best position, and it is precisely the position which JR is now enjoying. The reason why it is important is because now he will be able to see and observe what all the other players will do before it becomes his turn to act. Since JR won the button, that means that our two ladies, Pam and Sean, now become the blinds. Being first to act, Pam has to put up what is called the small blind, and being second to act, Sean has to put up what is called the big blind. Most Texas Hold'em games are played with 2 blinds just like this. In our game, the small blind is $5 and the big blind is $10. This is how we begin any new hand in Texas Hold'em. Each player will get a total of 2 down cards dealt left to right in turn. When the dealing is finished, the first person to act will be the player immediately to the left of the big blind. In our case here, that player is Curtis. He now occupies a position known as under the gun. This means that he is the first one to act immediately after the big blind. All 3 of the players, the small blind, the big blind, and the under the gun player, are often referred to as players being in early position. These are considered unfavorable positions because all of these players have to act on their hands early before having the opportunity to be able to observe what the other players will do or how they will act or bet. The action then continues until it gets back to the small blind, who then has the choice of either calling the extra bet or continue with her hand, or to raise or to fold. Of course, if by the time the action gets back to the blind someone else has raised, then the option for the big blind is no longer applicable. The dealer will now burn 1 card and set it aside, and then he proceeds to deal 3 cards face down, which he will then pick up and spread on the table face up, and that is called the flop. The first round of betting will now take place. The dealer will now burn another card, set it aside, and deal just 1 card face up directly next to the cards already on the board, and this card is now called the turn. Whenever this 4th card is turned up in the middle of the table, this now indicates that this round, as well as the next round, are now played at the next highest limit, which in our example is the $20 limit. In this example, Pam likes her hand and decides to raise. The dealer will now burn the 3rd and final card, set it aside, and deal the final board card face up directly next to the other cards already face up in the middle of the table. You will now have a total of 5 cards in the middle of the table, and this is now called the board. This final card is called the river, and that now completes all of the dealing procedures. The objective of the game of Texas Hold'em, therefore, consists of combining either one or both of your whole cards with the cards on the board to make the best 5-card poker hand. Both of our ladies have played the hands properly and as best as they can be played under these circumstances. It is at this point that the winner will be determined by comparing the value of those 2 hands and deciding which of them is the best. That is the function of the dealer. The dealer will now compare these two hands and demonstrate how each is read and how the winner is determined. After this, having recognized the flush as the winning hand, the dealer picks up the unfortunate losing hand of 3 queens and places those cards face down in the muck, which is called killing the hand. He then pushes the pot to the winner. This now completes the procedure for playing 1 round and 1 hand of Texas Hold'em. The same procedures are repeated over and over again with each successive hand. Now that you have seen how we begin to play Texas Hold'em, the next item of great importance in learning how to play the game is to learn which hands are best to play and why. To help you do just that, we have prepared the top 20 starting hands for the game of Texas Hold'em and have spread them out here on our table. Pocket aces are, of course, the very best possible starting hand in Texas Hold'em. On average, you will receive this great hand about once every 220 deals. Pocket kings and queens can be played almost in the same way as pocket aces. You should always play them aggressively, raise with them at every opportunity, and unless you have gained a great deal of experience and expertise and knowledge of the game and your opponents, never try to slow play them. Ace-king suited, pocket jacks, and ace-king offsuit can all be very good hands, but at the same time can also be troublesome. At the beginning, you should nevertheless play these hands aggressively, and my advice would be for you to play them as if they were aces, kings, or queens. For all of the other hands on our list, you should play them more cautiously, particularly from early positions and even middle positions. Generally, your best strategy is fit or fold. Simply put, if the cards you hold fit and match the flop, then play them aggressively because you are likely to have the best hand. If, on the other hand, the cards you have did not match the flop or missed it entirely, then fold. The only other time you may consider proceeding past the flop with any of these hands is if you either flopped an open-ended straight draw or a flush draw. All of these examples and all of these hands will provide beginning players with the very best of the starting hands and the easiest way to begin your introduction to this great game. And that, my friends, is how you begin to play Texas Hold'em. It is a wonderful game that is easy to learn and one that will keep you interested for many years to come as you begin to get deeper into more advanced strategies and playing concepts. For those discussions, you can tune into one of our other programs or click the appropriate link on the designated web page. And now, until next time, remember to play smart and play to win. I'm Victor H. Royer, and this has been a presentation of PartyPoker.com. Bye.
This has been a presentation of MRM Entertainment, Inc. in association with Nevada Production Studios and PartyPoker.com.